September, day 4. Today we are making Crockpot Chicken Parmesan soup. It tastes like chicken Parmesan, but it's in a soup. It has over 160 5-star reviews, and once you have a bite of the soup, you'll know why. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and we are celebrating September, and for 10 days straight, we're on day 4, we are sharing a fun soup recipe for you. Now, if you love soup and are tired of making the same old soup, head to the description below because you can sign up to get our free 30 days of soup recipes to celebrate September all month long. You can also find today's recipe linked in the description below as well, or you can always go to eatingonadime.com and just search chicken Parmesan soup and it will pull right up. Today I'm using my beautiful brand slow cooker. Any slow cooker is gonna work, but I do have a link for this and everything else that we're using today in the description as well. So if you're needing anything, or if you don't see something that you're needing a link for, just drop it in the comments, okay? Also, while we're getting started cooking, go ahead and let me know what's your favorite soup recipe, and if you love chicken Parmesan. So we are starting with 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts just thrown into the crock pot. We need a tablespoon of minced garlic, which is about 3 cloves of garlic minced if you want to do it yourself. Either way will work great. Then we're going to do a giant can of crushed tomatoes. This is the 28-ounce can. And we're just going to open this up. This is the hardest part for me because I'm left-handed. Then you're going to pour those crushed tomatoes just right on top. Then we need 1 can of tomato sauce. This is just the 15-ounce kind. I like to use the tomato sauce and the crushed tomatoes because chicken Parmesan is usually like a spaghetti sauce, whereas you don't want to use diced tomatoes. But if your kids are really weird, you could always just use all tomato sauce. I just love the flavor that crushed tomato sauce brings. Now we just need a few simple seasonings. A teaspoon of pepper, sprinkled in. Teaspoon of salt, and then Italian seasoning blend. We actually do have a recipe on how to make this because I think some people can't get Italian seasoning. It's just a blend of seasonings, but we do have a recipe to make your own if you want to. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of the Italian seasoning. Now all you have to do is add 4 cups of chicken broth. If you want to save money, do 2 cups of chicken broth and 2 cups of water. But I do recommend having some chicken broth, or at least like a bouillon or something like that, because it really adds some flavor to the soup. Then we're going to cover and cook on high for 3 to 4 hours or low for 6 to 8 hours until that chicken is completely shreddable. Now you'll notice I didn't stir. You don't really have to. It's going to do everything, but if you want to stir, you can. But on this, all the flavors are going to combine and it's going to be delicious. Okay, I am out of here. I will see you in a few hours. Oh, it's been a few hours. We are going to remove the chicken. The chicken should be nice and tender, which as you can see, it is. It just falls apart because even when you use the tongs, you have to be careful because it can just like fall apart into pieces like that one did. So that's what you want. Let's get all these out. Then I'm going to shred this, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get everything else thrown in that we need to cook. Now we're going to cook our Rotini Pasta. This is uncooked. It will cook right into the crock pot, so I'm going to stir that in. That pasta was about 8 ounces or like a half a package of Rotini Pasta. Then we need to mix in some shredded Parmesan cheese. Now you could do like the grated, we want about a cup. But I find that since Parmesan cheese is the main purpose of the soup, like it's the main flavor, doing fresh and taking the time to shred it yourself is awesome. Now, if you had one of those cool handy dandy shredders, it'd be even faster, which technically I do have that one for the counter. I don't know why I didn't use that. I wasn't thinking it through. And then we're going to mix this in and let this get nice and melted. And then pour in 1 cup of heavy cream. Take 2 forks and shred the chicken. Remember, you want them in larger pieces, but it also needs to fit on a spoon. So if you have any pieces that are too long, just kind of use your like this one right here is going to be too long. Just use your fork to cut it in half so it'll fit on a spoon. Then we're just going to put that shredded chicken back into the crock pot. Now we're going to let this heat, if you have it on low still, for about 30 minutes until that pasta is tender, or if you're cooking it on high, well, regardless, you can switch it to high if you want to. I'm just going to stir this together to get all that cream mixed in. And then we're going to cook this on high for about 15 minutes until that pasta is tender. Meanwhile, while this is cooking, we're actually going to head to the skillet for the secret tip that makes this soup amazing. In a small saucepan, we are going to heat it up over medium heat and add a tablespoon of butter and some breadcrumbs. Saute these breadcrumbs, let that butter melt, and we're going to saute these for a few minutes until they're nice and crisp and browned. I wanted to show you, you just keep moving them around until they get nice and golden brown, just like this. You want to make sure you're moving them around though, because they will burn if you just let them sit. Then we're just going to remove this from the heat until we're ready to serve. Breadcrumbs are browned. Now we need some mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to suggest hand shredding it again. And this is just to top it. You know, like when I think I let this one sit out too long, so it's crumbly. Let your cheese stay in the fridge until you're ready to shred. That was a shot at the IT guy who left it out. For those of you who don't know, the IT guy is my dad. Okay, but so remember when if you go to a restaurant and you have a chicken Parmesan, it's going to have pasta. We have that in there. It's going to have chicken breaded. This is for our breading. And then it's going to have sauce. Oh, we have sauce. And then it's going to have cheese melted on top. So that's the part. We're going to assemble it all, and we're going to make this delicious soup that has 5-star reviews. It has a lot of 5-star reviews because everyone who makes this is obsessed with it. So to assemble, you're just going to pour the soup into your favorite soup bowl. We are going to top it with a mozzarella cheese, and don't be stingy. Well, I mean, you can be, but I'm not going to. And then last but not least, we are going to top it with the breadcrumbs, which you could put the breadcrumbs on first if you wanted to, but I like them on top just because adds that little bit of crunch. And if you're thinking, why can't we just dump some breadcrumbs in there? This is really important because it adds so much more flavor. You can top it with parsley. You can also top it with more Parmesan cheese if you want to. And if you're feeling really lazy and you don't want to do the breadcrumbs part, you can also just take some croutons and crush them up and throw them right on top as well. Time for my favorite part, eating it. This is one of my all-time favorite soups. My kids go crazy for it. And remember, you can grab the full recipe linked in the description below. Sorry, talking with my mouth full. And don't forget, we are sharing soup recipes every single day. And if you want 30 soup recipes, you can grab them in the link below. We are celebrating Souptember all month long in emails and sending you a brand new soup recipe to try straight in your email inbox. Can't talk today, must eat more soup. Okay, guys. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't want you to miss any more of our family-friendly recipes. You guys, if you've been following us for a while, you know that we're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget, even with making delicious but easy soups. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. And in the meantime, don't forget to eat at home by eating on a dime. I will see you next time. Bye, friends.